As a child, I did athletics all the way up to about from 7 to like 15, and then in secondary school, I actually joined the school basketball team, and like that team aspect of sport, I really enjoyed. So my boyfriend and my friends at the time they were hugely involved in our club back home, our rugby club, and they were like, why don't you just give it a chance, like have a go. So yeah, I gave up athletics at 15 and joined rugby, and that's how I got into it.
And you're obviously playing in the 15 squad and in the 7 squad, so which one came first, or did they both kind of come together?
Yeah, it's funny because it's almost like a circle for me. I started out in 15s, got my 7s cap for Ireland, and then ended up getting my 15s cap. So it's a cool like circle that I've gone on through. But I started out in 15s with my local club, Clonwilliam, back home, and from there I went into Munster underage. Then I went to 7s underage, and then I went back to senior Munster for one of the interpro seasons, and then I went on and got capped for the senior 7s team, and then I was playing there first, and I still am playing there for almost 9 years in there now. And then just after COVID, I ended up getting a call up to the 15 squad, which was huge achievement for me, and I ended up getting my 15s cap. So I like to think of it as a kind of a circle.
Yeah.
It's brought it right back around. Although getting my first cap during COVID was different.
Yeah.
My family and friends weren't there, but I know they were watching from home. So yeah, I made my debut against France. I came off the bench, but unfortunately my shoulder met a French player's chin, and I ended up getting a sin bin and being off for 10 minutes. But it's a great achievement playing for Ireland. It's something I dream of every day, is being able to put on the Ireland jersey, and yeah, do my family proud and do my country proud. So yeah, making my debut for 15s is great.
In terms of the Six Nations this year, talk us through the competition. There were some good performances from the team. You definitely stood out as one of the players. What was it like?
Yeah, Six Nations was great. Obviously it was the first year after COVID, having crowds back, and for me, having played on the 7th circuit, I wouldn't really get to feel the sense of a home crowd. But being able to play at home, we played in the RDS against Wales. Unfortunately, the scoreline didn't go our way, but being able to, play in front of your family and friends who've, supported you along this journey, especially when you get your first cap during COVID, it's exciting for them to actually get out and see you and sing your national anthem and hear the crowd roar the national anthem, hear them roar the fields of Athenry. It's such a lift to have. And then we went on to France, and that was a tough game. We knew it was going to be tough. They're a really strong side, like any team in the Six Nations. And then we went down to Musgrave, where Munster's my home, so I was massively excited for that, and really I was looking forward to it so much. Playing Italy down there, had all my friends and family again come, and I feel the atmosphere was amazing down there. There were so many young girls at it, and after the game, they were just out there for hours waiting for you to come around and meet them and chat to them and either sign a jersey or take a picture. And for me, that's a huge win in any sport, especially in rugby, just seeing so many young girls playing. Because when I started, there definitely wasn't that many, so the future is definitely bright.
In terms of the team, there's a lot of young players coming up at the moment. Obviously there's a few retirements last year. New leadership there too. It seems like a good approach towards developing the team. I know there were some Irish lessons and stuff in there, so how has that growth of the team come together with new faces and that? Yeah,
plenty new faces, plenty in there with management and players. But I think once we joined in, we all became aligned on what we wanted to achieve throughout the Six Nations. And I think if everyone's on the same page, it's quite easy, because everyone has the same goal and the same focuses, and we all want to drive to get that success. And I think so long as players are working hard but competing against each other to push the standard, that was something that we really wanted to knuckle down. But yeah, like you said, we had loads of fun in camp. We had Irish lessons in. Muntur Ronan from St Michael's came in and gave us a few Irish lessons.
It's nice to be able to kind of switch off and do something different and bring people together in a different way that's not always completely focused on rugby.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we went to Irish class with Muntor, Ronan, it was just
Totally
complete
different.
switch off. There was rugby talk, but in Irish language. So yeah, it's really good to be able to switch off and do them sorts of things, just to build, culture and a bit of an atmosphere, and
Was there any Irish dancing or anything going on?
No Irish dancing.
We'll have to put that in for next year. So.
Yeah.
Who's the team DJ?
Stacey Flood gives it a good go. Yeah, she has good tunes on.
Are there any good dancers?
Yeah, we're all great dancers, Niamh. We're
Obviously.
brilliant, yeah. It's just the Irish dancing we're not good at yet. Maeve O'Leary is probably one of the best dancers I have seen. It's just a laugh, like for downtime and stuff, just just to do something silly and get in each other's company, I suppose.
In terms of the past year, like you were involved in the Six Nations and in the Sevens as well. Like the Sevens has been unreal, like the last couple of years. Is it tough to manage both?
To be honest, no. The management deal with all that, and you're given your schedule, you know where you are, and it's quite clear, the outline is clear of where you'll be at certain times of the year. So, for yourself, you can mentally prepare, like I'm going 15s camp the weekend, or maybe in Sevens training during the week. But any time you get to put on an Ireland jersey, like I promise you, it's one of the best things you'll ever do. So whether it's a 15s or a Sevens jersey, I take so much pride in it. And yeah, we've had huge success this year with the Sevens. It's been great, and all the 15s girls, like they back us and their management, and they want us to do really well and go on next week and qualify for the World Cup, because we have a big tournament next week in Bucharest with the World Cup qualifiers. But yeah, we've had a great year. We've made plenty of history, which is great to see, because I've been there when we came 12th at tournaments, and it's been a dark place to be in. Too many times we're in those dark places, but you grow resilience, and it's sport. You develop and grow as a team as it goes on, and just seeing all the hard work the past 8-9 years that every player has put in, that every staff member has put in, has come to fruition now.
What are the standout moments for you?
Definitely this year will definitely be making it to the final in Seville. It was quite surreal for me, like me and myself and Eve Higgins, we just sat in the change room. We didn't really know, like we were just won the semi, and we didn't really know what was going on. Everyone was so happy, and we were just sat there in such awe, like of how we'd achieved this. But yeah, definitely making it to the final in Seville and getting a silver medal, but also playing in Musgrave Park was another huge standout moment for us. Especially for me, as I said, a big Munster fan, and getting to play there in such an amazing atmosphere was a standout moment.
In terms of role models, who were role models for you growing up?
Funnily enough, I have cousins who are huge golfers, and they take me to watch golf. And my cousin at the time, she was playing a really high level of golf, and she was a teenager, but she actually played against Leona and Lisa Maguire. I was able to see Leona and Lisa have their ping photo shoots and out on the putting greens, and I was sitting in one of the golf club bars looking out at them, thinking, that at the time I didn't really think they were two people who I would have looked up to, but as I grew older and the past few years, I've actually began to notice that they were a huge influence on me. But looking at Katie Taylor and what she's done is massive. Watching the hockey girls come second in the World Cup a few years ago was very inspiring. Seeing them get to the Olympics was amazing.
In terms of two names that you've mentioned there, you've talked about Katie Taylor and you've talked about Leona Maguire, and they're obviously doing huge things for their sport, for girls and women. What's it like for you to be somebody that's doing that in rugby?
Yeah, it's great. Sometimes you stumble upon being a role model, and for me, or stumble upon being a leader in the group. Like you just become that person. And for me, I would never have even looked at myself as a leader a few years ago, and now I'm one of the senior players in the team. And I think you know, if you can be the best player and lead by your actions and lead by your examples, that's a way you'll influence younger girls. And I think, you know, showing a bit of you and who you are and your character and, you know, your family and stuff like that, I think that's a massive part of young girls getting to know who you are. Definitely getting to play in the Six Nations and have so many young girls come to the games. It was just, for me, again, like, it's such a personal win. For them to be able to see you play, but then to get to meet you afterwards and, you know, share a picture or get a signed jersey is a huge it's a huge thing to be able to grow the game.
In terms of your celebration, so that's something that a couple of people have talked about. Tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, my try celebration. So I have a sister. She's 11, and a few years back she just said, like, to me, you know, how come you don't have a try celebration? Not that she'd watch that much rugby, you know, what she would have watched would be soccer players, basically. They're big Liverpool fans, so I'm sure she's seen a lot of soccer players goal celebrations. But yeah, it was just something small that she made up for me, and it's stuck now, and it's quite iconic to my name. So yeah, I enjoy it, and
I'm sure she's delighted as well.
Yeah, she is. It's something, like, it's a part of my family, and I'm able to bring that on the pitch, which I really like to do.
Talk to us about the game that's coming next week.
Yeah, we have a huge tournament next week. We head to Bucharest on Wednesday for the World Cup qualifiers for sevens, which is in Cape Town in September. So yeah, we've a huge focus on that the past 4 months. We've been building and getting enough tournament prep that leads us into Bucharest and to put us in the best foot forward to qualify for Cape Town. I was at the last World Cup in San Fran in 2018, and it was a great time. We had beaten England, and we were the underdogs at the time, and it was a big shock for people. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable tournament, and hopefully we qualify next week and we'll enjoy the World Cup in Cape Town.
In terms of the team, it's like definitely evolving in that. Obviously, rugby sevens is an Olympic sport. Is that a goal for you guys?
Yeah, the purpose of our sevens program is to qualify for the Olympics in 2024 in Paris. Unfortunately, we haven't made it to Tokyo and to Rio before that, but it's definitely a huge focus and goal, a long-term goal that we have in our plan. For me personally, going to the Olympics is a childhood dream of mine. Coming from athletics, watching the Olympics, and then I kind of lost sight of the Olympic dream when I joined the 15s as a 15-year-old, and then I was approached by our club just to trial out for the sevens, and at the time I didn't know it was going to be in Rio. And then 2 years later I found out, and I was like, this is my opportunity to do it. And you know, it was almost a sign that, like, look, here's rugby, you can play 15s, but also you can head down the Olympic pathway if that's what you want to do as well. So yeah, personally, it's a dream that I hope soon enough will fulfill. And next year Olympic qualification does start, so yeah, it'll be a big focus for us next year.
Her Sports Six Nation Show in association with Opal.